Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome. This is us. We are Saturday afternoon and we are once again playing Scion. I am Simon. You see him pronouns. I am the Fates for this game. And I'll leave it to my players to introduce themselves. First, who they are playing. We are missing one morning today. She'll be back for next session. So we'll start with the other person at the top of the overlay. Hannah, hello.
Hi, I'm Hannah, she, her, and in this game I play Kieran Kearney, son of Loki, he, him.
And let's go down one row on the overlay and go with Lynn.
Hey everyone, I'm Lynn, she, they, and today I am playing, Dee, daughter of Inari, she, her.
And last but not least, we have Hawkeye.
Alright, I'm Hawkeye, or Kentucky Hawkeye, he, him, and I am playing Finbaro Dubda, son of Ogma out of the Celtic Pantheon, he, him as well.
All right. Got to launch my Roll20. I was like, why isn't there any music playing? That's why. Oof. It's okay, we'll get there. Last we left our Scions, they had just gotten out. Another. The group basically left Helheim after a lot of trials, let's say, with the inhabitants of that underworld. Kieran got his heart ripped out, and then put back. And the group actually learned, like, things are going a little wonky in the underworlds with the divine net in place. Everything is falling apart. Everyone is, I'll say, annihilated, because everyone's already dead anyway. The group left aboard a ship that was built from the remains of a building that was built from the remains of a ship by lost souls, 120 lost souls from basically from the the Tuatha De Danann, the Irish pantheon.
Wasn't it also the fact that the lumber we use haunted?
Yes, all of the trees in hell are haunted.
That's a sentence.
It's a haunted ship.
Quite literally.
And yeah, you boarded the ships and you started sailing away from Helheim, and towards an unknown destination. The current brought you somewhere, pushed you into one direction more than another, and I think that is where we had ended as you made landfall on New Beach in somewhere else. I have a sound issue. It's gonna take just a second. Why is this not? Do y'all hear anything from Roll20?
No, but usually I kind of have that turned down. Let me check.
No, it might
No,
just
nothing.
be.
Oh, no.
It was playing music.
Now
and
there
it's
should be
not.
something.
Yeah, now there
Yeah,
is.
there it is.
Okay, I just had to refresh it. My bad. So yeah. You've landed upon a new shore. It is currently colder than it was in Helheim. The land before you has a very, very narrow beachhead, followed by what appears to be dying grasses. Pale yellow grass. That. I mean, it's been unkempt. Yes, it's been trampled. It seems quite a few times. The blades have been bent and broken pretty much everywhere, though there are no traces of footsteps or of anything on the beach itself. The sky is overcast, and there is a faint, like a very faint drizzle coming down from the sky. Like every so often you feel a droplet on your skin, but that's about it. The ship is dragged to the beach by the lost souls from the island. And Axel will turn to all of you and just ask, what's the plan now? What are we supposed to do? Where are we, for that matter?
I don't know. I think maybe we should find out where we are and decide from there. Maybe. This doesn't look like where we're supposed to go. So, or
Do we know
Mind
where
blowing.
we're supposed to go looks like?
that's probably
That
a
would
good
be
point.
the question.
There's bound to be something here, right? I don't feel like we should build a new longhouse again.
I mean, we probably should prepare just to get out of here as fast as we can if we need to. So maybe we do
Stay
some
put.
scouting and then figure out from there where we are and who's here if there's anyone here.
If you volunteer for scouting, I can definitely stay here with everybody else. And morning.
I think that would probably work. You'll have Morning there to help in case anything untoward comes around, at least long enough for us to get back. And then we can figure out what we can do, if anything, from here.
Agreed. And he's gonna turn around and start shouting orders at everybody else as they come down the ship to like moor it, tie it up, explaining very quickly that they're gonna stay on the beach for an undetermined amount of time. You hear a few voices from the crowd just wondering, is it dangerous? Are we gonna be safe? Is the grass haunted? Why is it so cold? But despite it all, despite the questions, the confusion, they will go about their business, sort of unload what little stuff was on the boat. Basically, to sort of like build these little shelters, half barricades, half shelters around where the ship landed. Leaving the three of you to do whatever you see fit.
Looking out from the ship, do we see anything architectural wise that would give us a clue to where we are? Or what kind of place we've come to?
It's a wide plain with nothing. In fact, the only thing that seems to break the monotony of the plain are these low rolling clouds that are on the horizon. It almost looks like they're touching the ground.
And we have all this we can see all this flattened grass, correct?
Yeah. Oh, it seems to extend forever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, something had to happen here. The grass is all. I mean, look at it; it's all trampled.
It means something's been here, been through here. How soon? Hard to say.
I mean, who knows how time
Tracking
works?
was not. Yeah, tracking was not exactly one of my skills growing up.
I mean, I grew up in the city most of my life. I have no idea how to track, so that's.
Yeah. But let's see. What I do have. Let me check one of my skills here. Yeah, while will help me through here, but I don't see anything. Let's see. Oh, hang on. All right. I would like to imbue 1 point of legend and execute one of my boons here, which is Lay of the Land.
Oh,
What does it do?
Ask the story guide one of the following questions in a wilderness area. What happened here recently? What should I be on the lookout for when my escapes route way in, way around? What's useful or valuable to me here? I guess probably the question I'm going to want to ask is quite simply, what has happened here? Why is everything so trampled down?
It's not people.
Oh,
It's snow. Oh, what?
oh, so that's interesting.
It's heavy snow. It's as if you happened upon the beach on the very first day of spring. Or not necessarily first day of spring, but like the last snow melt. Like it all melted one shot.
We came here right at the thaw.
Basically, yeah. Except, the beach is. You came in at the thaw, but there's no traces of any like flooding from such an amount of snow melting in one shot.
It was like the
It
snow
is-
was
it is
there, mashed down the plants on the land, and then suddenly was gone. There's no evidence of the time it takes for it to thaw and melt and for the water to puddle up and go away or anything.
is it possible
Just like-
that there was like a heat flash so intense that it melted and evaporated the snow in one go?
It could, yeah.
And left no trace otherwise? I mean, everything would be dead with with a heat flash like that.
Yeah.
Well, the grass does look dead.
I mean,
Does it look dead as in naturally dead, like from being cold in the winter and all that, or does it look like it's singed or marred or any other kind of fashion?
because when what was it like when we have like heavy periods of snow, sometimes the grass dies and just kind of like looks, just kind of like waterlogged and kind of soaked.
Yeah.
This looks rather than like toasty or something like that.
I'll say as part of this check, the grass hasn't been burnt. It starved and died.
It-
Or froze and died. But the whatever melted the snow in one shot, if Kieran's theory is right, was just warm enough to make snow disappear, snow melt, but not enough to singe any
Not
of the
incinerated.
grasses. One more
Interesting.
thing, though, that is a little bit outside of your purview, is you look at the land. If you want to go with the theory of a heat wave or a heat flash, there doesn't appear to be much sun around. Kind of like in Helheim, it seems like the sun is very distant, somewhere hidden in the back of a layer of clouds.
Interesting. Is this all like prairie flat, or is this like rolling hills flat?
Prairie flat.
Okay.
Like, it's not a perfect plain, of course, but
Right.
it's prairie flat.
Yeah.
And it seems to extend in all directions. Like, the beach, if you wanted to just walk on the beach, let's say the beach runs north-south, it's not a straight line, right? It curves. Sometimes it goes a little bit more inland, sometimes a bit more out towards the ocean. But it seems to just go on forever in both directions.
And there's like nothing. There's no structures or any other sign of landmarks as far as the eye can see.
Not that you can see from the beach. Aside from like the rolling clouds in the distance that seem to touch the ground farther away into the plains. It's like a barren hell.
What an apt descriptor for us being in hell.
Do we see any paths or anything resembling a path, whether it be human or a cow path or even a rabbit trail kind of thing?
You would have to go further inland. Like, I'm still assuming that you're basically
Like on the
edge
shore.
of the beach,
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
shore,
Looking at
and
it,
you're
it's
just
like-
looking at it.
Like looking at a bunch of like kind of waterlogged nothing.
All
It
right,
isn't
gonna
waterlogged, though,
in fact-
is it? It's dry, right?
Is it
No,
dry?
it's dry. Yeah,
Oh, it's
there's
dry.
no signs of waterlogging. That's
Okay,
the
yeah.
thing.
Or just
Yeah.
like flat
I'm gonna-
nothing.
I'm
Weird.
going to start walking towards the grass to see if I can find any kind of a path. So that way, if there's something here, if there's a path, that means it leads to where others have been going, whether they're human or animal or something in between.
Whatever's
My
out here.
concern is that any path that would have been made would have been eradicated by the snow. Like, if.
Possibly.
Because otherwise, I'd like to try something. I'd like to call on Garmer and see if he is able to track any scent of like someone who may have been through here. After Finbar looks.
Yes. Make a note of something. Finbar, you walk onto the grass 10, 15 yards away from the beach, still within, easy shouting distance.
Right.
It's not like anything could break your line of sight. And as you do so, you notice that aside from the beach itself, the grass is a lot colder. And the further in you walk, the colder the ground is. The air itself doesn't seem to have changed. The drizzle is still present from what few drops have fallen on you since. Sorry. Near the end of your little foray inland, you begin to feel pebbles in your shoes. Not a whole lot of them, but you know how annoying it is when you have that one little pebble rolling around in your shoe? It's like you have 2 or 3 of these in each shoe. And another thing that you would notice is at some point towards the edge of where you are, you felt a hot gust of wind, or just a split second, coming from, we'll say, the south. Let's assume the beach goes north-south all the time and the plain goes east-west.
Right.
So you would have felt a brief gust of wind, like someone just blowing on you from south to north. It lasted a brief instant, whereas the pebbles, they're there now. They're, you feel them.
And I see no paths or markings anywhere showing that where anyone or anything has traveled through here.
Mm, there is it's about yay wide sort of furrow into the ground.
Okay.
Like
Like an irrigation trench or something like that.
like an
But not
irrigation
quite as
trench,
deep.
but that wasn't straight. Whoever did it was just like meandering. The straight goes north south, same direction as the wind,
Okay. Interesting.
and it's not quite deep. It's about like 5-6 inches deep, and just about the same width.
All right. I'm going to bend down. I want to touch the ground on either side of this trench to
Wanna touch
feel,
grass?
yeah, the grass and the ground. To see hot, cold, what kind of consistency, if dry, what consistency, stuff like that.
You've got plenty enough stamina. The grass is unnaturally cold. As you bend down to just touch it with the tip of your fingers, it takes a little while for you to feel the cold because you're just, you're naturally, supernaturally tough. When you remove your fingers, you've got rime covering the tip of each.
Okay.
The skin underneath has begun
Freeze.
slowly freezing, turning to like a pale beige to almost like a light blue.
Okay. All right, I'm going to rub my fingers to myself to warm them up a little bit. And as soon as they get to quote unquote normal, I want to do the same thing inside the trench to see if there's any difference.
Oh, the trench is hot. Not
That's what I wondered.
boiling hot, but it is warm. Like upturned soil on a sunny summer day.
Okay. All right. After doing that, I'm going to head back and tell Kieran and Dee what I've seen.
Where is this trench?
It's in the ground, and it looks like it's heading north south, kind of like how the beach is generally going north and south. It's doing the same thing, but there's heat coming from it, and the rest of the ground is like the grass kind of has this prairie, still has the prairie grass kind of feel to it, but when you get down to where the grass and the soil is, we're talking beyond frozen tundra.
So everything's bone cold except for this trench.
So I don't know if the ground is being supernaturally cooled and everything is warm underneath it, and someone has plowed this trench there, or if this is just a fault that heat from, lack of a better way, from underneath geothermic heat, whatever geothermic heat the underworld has is seeping up from there from this being a fault, or if this is something that's dug intentionally.
I mean, it's our first, hint that there's someone here. So I mean, that's the best. I mean, it's the best we have at this moment.
Yeah. My guess is it's not going to be a cow path or a rabbit trail, but at least in theory, it might lead us towards something. Because it's got to be there for a reason.
There's a whole lot of nothing here, so that's at least.
Yeah.
Something.
And do you still summon Garmer?
I would like to summon Garmer, but I would like to summon him for a different reason. If the trench that was dug is hot and the grass is cold, is Garmer like me? Is he also immune to hot and cold? Or is he affected by...
Well, you would know. No, he would be affected by both.
Oh, then never mind.
He can regenerate, so there's that.
I don't want to kill my dog just because I know I'll get a new dog afterwards. That's horrible.
No. That's no. He doesn't regenerate from death. He regenerates wounds if he's alive.
Okay.
It's just the regeneration goes a lot faster when he's not summoned.
Sure.
Slower when he is summoned. Of course, it being an animal, right? It's got fur and everything. It does resist cold more than a human, just by virtue of being an animal.
You know, when Finbar touched the grass just by like touching it, it like froze his hand, which feels beyond, you know, a puppy with a coat, with a fur coat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I was thinking of like digging into the grass to see if it was hot underneath, if like it was just the top layer, or if it's something about the trench in particular that is making it warm.
So you're asking Garmer to do this, or are you going to do it?
Yeah, I want Garmer to dig.
Where? Like, how close to Finbar versus the beach?
It's just like right on the edge of the grass. I don't want him to go too far into the
beach,
grass.
Basically? Okay.
Yeah.
Garmer starts digging. Of course, the size of that wolf by itself means that the hole it digs, it's basically, you know, almost like the size of a
like a kiddie pool.
grave, basically. Yeah.
Cool, good.
But it goes down, and you would notice from the beach side, it's just sand, like white sand. From the ground part, let's call it the plains, it's earth. That's basically permafrozen. And by the time that Garmer sort of stops, he's at a point where both the beach and the plains, it's just hard ice. It's got like its like Garmer's claw marks on it, but it has trouble trying to dig further in.
Okay. So it's just the trench for some reason is warm.
You would hear, after a few moments of like coming back up, Garmer begins to whine, to just go, kind of holds like a paw up.
Yeah.
Oh.
You can like disappear or whatever it is you do. I don't know how to desummon you.
Before you desummon him, you notice as it fades, like the its paws are now covered in blisters. And that's going to heal
Okay.
on its own.
Very strange.
Do you think it's possible that there was never a snow on top of the grass and it was just the fact that the ground that it was growing out of was really cold, so it didn't ever grow truly right?
It's possible. Or maybe we're thinking in the wrong direction. Maybe there wasn't a heavy snowfall that suddenly melted. Maybe there was a sudden flash freeze.
That goes all the way down?
This is the
The
underworld.
flash freeze came from under?
Possibly, or it could be from below or above. This is the underworld. We're dealing with the non-mundane. I'm at the point now where I find it hard to doubt anything from being possible.
So do you think we should just like follow the trench? Like a path?
I don't see any other. Am I correct in saying this? We don't see any other navigable markers as we look, except for the
Cool.
foggy clouds in the distance, right?
That's a really good moment for you to ask this because I was going to say.
Yeah, what was that mystery roll, Simon?
Yeah, I heard that.
The first thing I'm going to say is D. There hasn't been. You haven't felt a single spirit.
Okay, that was gonna. I was gonna talk to him.
No one. There is no one here but you. Well, I mean, you, the other souls.
Has that been? Is it unusual here, or has that been kind of semi-consistent? Like when we've been in the underworld, there's been things, right? There's been.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you were in the Nexus city, they were everywhere.
Yeah.
Remember even I think it was the fridge that you used to make a
Oh
computer
yeah, the
out
fridge.
of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still had a soul in it, spirit, in it. Hell, you could feel the haunted trees, the spirits of like all the murderers that became trees.
Yeah.
Here, it's just nothing. Well, nothing except, as Finbar, you look around again, trying to find any landmarks. The ground begins to quake. A low rumble at first, and it rises in intensity. It never shakes hard enough for anyone to fall on their ass. The earth itself doesn't split open. You see the grass quiver, even the sand, like where Garmer dug the hole, like it's beginning to just fill back up. And in the distance, both north and south, mountains begin to rise. They rise at a pace that is... Well, I mean, okay, mountains rising is technically possible over like millions of years.
Yeah.
They are created within like a minute. And not only are they created, but then the top of each explodes outwards and large plumes of black smoke comes out. Lava pouring on each side, slowly. Just small eruptions. The clouds above, the overcast sky turns a darker shade of gray. The rolling clouds that were in the distance begin to part a little. Those of you on the beach, there's nothing at the end of the plane. Finbar, you're still in the plane. Now that the clouds on the other end have started coming apart, there seems to be something there. Like some sort of mound. But it is fairly far. Like to your eyes, it's about this high. Like it breaks the monotony of the terrain by just a hair almost. But there is something. Compared to the mountains to your, left and right, it's minuscule, but
It's enough of it there, enough of an anomaly to show that there's something there.
mm-hmm.
Well, if we are looking for any kind of target to go towards, and I point, looks like that might be it.
And we should give it a
But
look.
real quick, before I'm gonna go back to the beach area itself. Do I still feel the pebbles in my shoe?
Yeah.
In the beach. Okay, I'm gonna take one off and shake it out into my hand to see if there's actually any pebbles in there or not.
It's not the shoe that has pebbles, but there are massive blisters under your feet. Like, the type of blister that someone would make putting their skin directly against, what's the name of it? Dry ice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've got about like 2 or 3 per foot. It's by virtue of your divine nature and the fact that you are, even for a demigod, very hardy. they don't bother you more than pebbles. You get the feeling that to anybody else, these would be incredibly painful.
All right,
Do we
let's
see
rewarm.
these?
Well, you would see, because you're still on the beach, right? So you would probably see just Finbar, like, removing his shoes and looking at his feet.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's like, 30, 50 feet from you.
Mm-hmm.
If you talk loud enough, he's going to hear you.
Yeah.
Finbar, you're right out there.
Well, it looks like walking across this ground's going to be a little bit of a chore as far as our feet are concerned. Looks like the coldness of the ground is going to cause some pain to the soul, so I'd warning you ahead of time so you're aware. Right now it just feels like the odd pebble in the shoe kind of thing. I'm not sure how long, depending on how long we walk, if that'll be prolonged or made worse, but I suppose maybe the quicker we move, maybe the less if the less we're standing still, probably the less likely we are to take any kind of annoying damage. Assuming that it just stays to the annoying part and not becomes actually
Well, why don't you,
physically harmful.
why don't you come back over here? I can take a look at it, see if there's something we can do to...
All right.
I mean, if it doesn't hurt right now, it's nothing, but
Yeah.
at least get a look at it. If it,
No
especially
real pain. It's just like I said, like feeling a pebble in the shoe kind of thing is all it feels like
Yeah,
right
because
now.
I don't want to necessarily alarm you, but not feeling anything isn't necessarily a great reminder that things are okay.
I know that. Yeah. That just
So let me take.
Delay-
I can put bandages.
delays you
or something.
from
I can-
knowing
yeah,
what's going
see
on.
if you're not like frostbitten or like.
yeah. Kind of like leprosy. The worst thing is that you don't feel what's going on when it's happening to you.
And I have no idea what's happening out here.
Did he say we catch leprosy out here?
No, more like frostbite, but the same principle going numb.
I mean-
Areas going numb for a long.
I mean, you
for
never
a
know.
long period of
Magical.
time.
I mean, it might not be medical. It might be a curse. So
Magical
Yeah.
leprosy.
yeah,
Not
be
better.
careful. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna like if take a look at the blisters and stuff like that, and try and like put like I think I have some like disinfect some stuff, some medical stuff in my bag, like maybe like a wrap or something like that. Just take a look at it, see if it's like something that I can heal, or if it's something. Just get an idea of what this is before we go any
Jesus,
further.
Mary and Joseph. You call this not a bother? Little rock in the shoe.
That's all it feels like.
As a healer, essentially, they can be healed
Mm-hmm.
through divine power.
Mm-hmm.
Were you not here, Finbar would just have to tough it out.
Mm-hmm.
The cool thing is you can remove them even without any medical tools available.
Yeah. Great. One thing is like, is this purely like a physical reaction, or is there something like magical
what do you
about
mean?
it?
Oh, it's definitely not completely natural.
Yeah. Well, no, I
you
mean
do
like,
not develop blisters like these in like a 5 minute of walking.
like is it
on-
a cold response? Is it a response to cold, or is it something else? I'm just trying
It's
to
a
get
response
the
to
idea.
cold.
Okay.
It's a response to an incredibly cold temperature.
Okay.
Actually,
It's like walking on liquid nitrogen, yeah.
yeah, basically.
Just
Yeah,
want to make sure.
supernatural cold more than a natural cold,
Yeah.
but a supernatural cold.
And he had shoes on. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not necessarily dealing with anything natural, so.
Yeah, I mean, see, frostbite normally takes a few minutes outside.
Yeah.
At like, let's say minus 15. It's minus 15 Fahrenheit. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, without proper clothes at -15, you will start developing blisters, but it'll take a few minutes. It would almost match, but you haven't, like, Finbar himself hasn't been in the grass long enough to develop those blisters. Like, it hasn't been 15 minutes.
Yeah.
You've landed for more than 15 minutes, but no one on the beach has anything, like, has reported anything. And neither you nor Kieran have any wounds.
Okay.
Well, we also haven't stepped in the grass.
No, that's it.
Yeah.
Garmer did
Yeah.
by digging. He got into contact kind of briefly, but still.
Can I tell by visual means how far away this point is in the horizon?
It's I didn't check distance wise. Give me just a second. I'm gonna look at something.
Sure. Just have an idea here.
I'd say maybe about 5-6 miles, 6-ish miles away.
Okay. All right. All right. We'll hold off on that for now.
The lava from the mountains, by the way, has started seeping into the plains. You can see north, south, that the soft glow of the magma just flowing into the plain.
Do I see any kind of white smoke that would come from the grass fires starting from all this?
Yeah, anywhere that lava touches the grass, basically.
Okay. All right, so we got to be prepared for that. All right. Shall we head out?
Yeah, we should check it out before, whatever happens with the mountains gets any worse, so.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Either it's going to get worse, or or all the eruptions of the magma farm is going to warm the ground up, one or the other.
Or who knows what else happens out here, so why don't we, before any more surprises come up suddenly.
Yeah, sounds good.
You begin your trek.
And not knowing how your two stamina levels are, if it gets bad enough on your feet, I'll use my strength, put you both on my shoulders, and carry you both all there. They're part of the way if we have to.
Well, for the first about 10 minutes, no one develops blisters. The ground is cool, but not cold. The lava at this point, some of it has reached a point in the plain where you can actually see it on the ground. Keep making your way to the mound. You're about halfway there. So, like, it's been about an hour, right, of walking. And the ground begins to quake again. The low rumble from earlier. And the mountains sink back into the ground.
No.
The lava, it doesn't cool off. It retreats with the mountains. The drizzle comes back.
Welcome to the cycle of seasons, everyone.
This is some Fantasia bullshit.
And the temperature begins to drop in you.
Alright, let's move. Before it gets too much colder and we take much damage.
Takes about 5 minutes or so. I need to check something on your sheet. I would like both Dee and Kieran to make a stamina survival roll.
Cool, good.
Picking on us.
I'm looking at. You're gonna need something like. Let's go with 4 successes.
God help us. All right.
I mean, if you fail, you get momentum. There's 1 point of momentum left in the pool if anyone wanted to use
Not worth it.
it. Otherwise, we're gonna add.
It's not gonna help us. I'm like terrible.
All right, then we go up to 3 momentum as the the temperature drops and you begin to feel, both of you, a searing pain coming from under your feet. It hurts to just put your foot down.
But you just kind of like everyone we see D kind of like walk. It's kind of like wincing. It's like
What's happening, D?
I think I don't know. You might be tougher than us. I think I.
For the
Do you mind
purposes of this, you have both taken 1 wound.
Okay.
All right. As soon as I hear this, I don't even wait for you to say anything or protest. I grab each of you, pop you up on my shoulders, and I start carrying you both to the mound. I've got the strength to do it, so.
With the added weight of 2 people, though, those pebbles in your shoes multiply. After another mile, roughly 15 minutes, 15, 20, it feels like the entirety of your feet, of your soles, Finbar, is now uneven. And it feels like you're walking on, like, barefoot on rocks all the time.
Is there no way we can like rest?
What are you going to rest if we sit down on? If we rest on the ground anywhere, the rest of our bodies are going to
Yeah,
freeze.
butt's gonna freeze off.
So, I'm just going to try to do my best, kind of the fastest run that I can do while carrying them both in the.
You know what?
With the theory that my feet aren't on the ground as much that way.
I think D will help. D will turn to a fox just to make it not. You know, if we'll have a person and a fox. Wait, it's better than having 2 people.
Okay.
You run another mile and 2 things happen. At this point, Finbar, you finally take 1 point of damage. And the mound that was in the distance, as you get closer and closer and closer, these are the walls of a city. It's not so much a mountain as it is this sort of strangely shaped wall that hides whatever's on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
You will trek the last mile, and I will ask you, Finbar, to this time make stamina and survival with a difficulty 4.
Survival. Alright, here we go.
Do I add 1 more into the pool of momentum, bringing it to 4, or do you want to use some momentum?
So I go ahead and spend all my momentum to try to get the final?
He only needs 1 success. What do you think?
Yeah, we
2?
need 1.
2 dice?
Yeah.
2? Okay. I didn't want to be greedy. Alright,
Right,
I'll do
pool
2.
is down to 1.
Alright, let me get the dice up here.
If he drops me, I'm dead. Like, I am at maimed right now.
Ooh, you haven't healed at all since,
No.
Target number is 7, right?
Yes. That's just one die.
Okay, let me roll another one.
Finbar will take another point of damage.
Okay, I'll take it.
Are you still up?
Yeah, that's
Yo,
just
Bruce.
too bruised. So, yeah, I'm still good.
By the time you reach the gate of those walls, Kieran is looking colder and colder. I didn't know you were maimed at this point. Just the ambient temperature started to affect him to the point where he is right now like undergoing hypothermia. And you, Finbar, the soles of your feet, it no longer feels like you're walking on rocks. It feels like there's a second layer literally under your feet.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is uneven. It's a strange feeling of always being just a little bit off balance.
Like I'm walking on loose gravel everywhere.
Yep. But you do get to the gate. And when you basically reach about like a 50 feet ish, there is now a path that begins to, like a dirt path in the plain forms, like the beginning of a road. And once you step on it, the cold disappears. The blisters disappear. You all regain the wounds you just got crossing the plain.
And as I feel myself healing, I'll put them down so they can walk as well, so they can get the...
You've essentially
and stuff.
shrunk half an inch, Finbar. You
Right.
basically had half an inch of blisters under your feet.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Like walking on bubble wrap.
Yeah, basically. Except it's not fun and it hurts all the time.
Yeah.
The
And it
most
doesn't
dismal bubble wrap. Oh,
And it doesn't
God.
pop.
Yeah.
Bubble wrap
you-
that doesn't pop.
Do you really want it to pop at this point? And that's where you would notice the first people, question mark? There are two porcine-looking humanoids. They, their skin is this sort of strange, almost like an eerie, glowy green color. You know, like how radioactivity is drawn in like cartoons and comic books and such. Kind of like the same. They don't glow, but they have like this Disney green skin color. The lower half of their faces is definitely more boar-like with husks and a pig snout. The upper half is closer to almost like a dog. It's got like a little bit of fur with these like round black eyes. They are heavily muscular. They've got muscles where muscles aren't supposed to exist. Their shape is almost, it's not triangle-like. I guess you could say it's triangle-like, but the angles aren't, it's almost a rectangle, how wide they are. And they both have these enormous curved spears. They just hold up straight, almost like to prop themselves up with it. The halves of these spears is like the width of like a softball, almost. Like a human hand can barely grasp the entire thing.
Huge, yeah, okay.
Okay.
Oh, and they are like 12 feet tall.
Yeah.
Only.
Yeah. Dressed in, both of them in this, shoot, it's not lamellar armor. It's, I used to know the name. It's gonna take me a second. It is, oh, come on. Of course, because now I completely got it. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, no, it would be lamellar armor. I think that there's a name for it, but that's basically what it would look like. A sort of squares of like metal, linked together, like sewn together. And it covers both their shoulders, chest, and they have this sort of almost like battle skirt of lamellar around their legs. The rest, from the knees down, they are unarmored. And worse, they're barefoot, and it doesn't seem to bother them. They look at you as you approach. Neither of them make a move or say anything.
Do we see any kind of... Do I see any kind of gate anywhere?
Oh, it's in
Or place
between
to
the two of
entrance?
them. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, the gate, by the way, the wall, right? Gate is sort of this curved doors. The top of them has, and D would notice it immediately, as that arch that you have above, shrines. There's a name for it. Yay! All of my words are escaping me right now.
Arch above the shrine
It's
itself?
like a
or like
Shinto shrine. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
the Torii. So it's basically like a Torii, but built within that wall. They don't say a thing. They just look at the three of you. Sorry, two and a fox, approaching.
I think Dee's gonna turn back to her human form and just kind of like, like get within conversation range. Just like, we're visitors in this place. Where are we? If you could tell us.
Goku. That's all that they answer. Did you hear me, or... Okay, sorry, I thought I was muted for a sec. I think you're muted. Oh no, is it doing the same things earlier? Yeah, it did. Well, you know what? While you fix it, it's a good time to go to break for a sec. So we'll do that, and when we come back, we'll talk to the guards. Stick around, everyone.
In 3,
Hey,
2,
we're
1.
back. See, I got it late, and now there's like a second of black, like a black screen between the transitions.
Just the worst.
I know. The murder mystery was worse than that. We're back, everyone. The word I was looking for was dough. Breastplate armor. So with that said, we're back in front of the guards. Two giant, sort of tusked humanoids. One of them looked down at D and just said the word Jigoku.
Does that ring a bell with you, D?
Does that mean something to you, D?
No, not really. Everything looks.
The other one puts a hand on the door and goes, "You want in?"
If we're allowed, yes. Of course.
Yes. And he pushes the door. It makes not the sound of wood groaning or creaking, but the sound of someone being torn open on a rack.
It's comforting.
There's just this wail of pain and torment as it opens. And it opens on a cobbled stone street with buildings on each side of various height. In fact, some of them do look like they should have poked out of the walls. And yet, you've never seen any buildings, any rooftops approaching the walls of the city. As they do so, the ground begins to tremble again, and in the distance you see the mountains rising up again. There are people walking down the streets, some carrying about carts with bags full of something. There's just like these clouds of flies buzzing about, following the carts around. Some of these like tusked individuals, like there's a few that walk about town towering over everyone. On the rooftops there are these horned people with crow wings, like black feathered bird wings, just watching people walking. Some of the buildings have awnings made out of clearly a stretched out, still living person. Some of the, let's call them townspeople, that you can see are somewhat recognizable. One of them is a turtle, like a bipedal turtle, missing the top half of its head. Another, bit farther away, selling what appears to be a collection of paintings, is clearly, and D would recognize them, a Tengu. With the long nose, the sort of avian-like features, but a still somewhat recognizable human face. Don't just stand there.
I'm gonna walk.
That's a
I'm
good
gonna walk.
idea.
Well, yeah, we'll
I
just
guess we walk
yeah.
inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Walk in,
Keep-
they close the door. It makes that horrible wail of just as it closes, leaving the four of you, in the city of Rigoku. You
I
hear
think
the
all
din.
the doors here make that noise.
I certainly hope not. If
Hopefully.
it does, it may make me want to stay outside.
Maybe some sort of deterrent of some sort. Hopefully they don't. But I think we have a roughly idea where we are. I think we're in, yeah. My Pantheon's after,
Yeah, I think we're in hell.
yeah.
Yeah. A very macabre version of it, that's for sure. From the scenery, anyway.
There are spirits about. As in, everyone that you see is alive in a way. Some of the pieces that of construction that make up some of the buildings are also alive, but so too are like just spirits of anguish and loss and pain that are just invisible but floating about this place. The street meanders for a while and gets lost in like an intersection and then another one and a roundabout, and the city seems to go on and on and on, reminiscent of the Nexus, but this one is very clearly a like medieval Japanese town, city, like Edo, way back, like hundreds of years ago. You could go just about anywhere from here. There are no street signs, no nothing, and people will not even cast a second glance at you. They just, you're there like them, they go about their lives, you should go about yours. What do you want to do from there?
Well, what's our goal here?
Guess we need to find whoever is in charge, or at least is either in charge or is at least the chief herder for everything that's going on here, for lack of a better way of stating it. Are there any of these armored creatures walking around on the street? Or are they all like on above being in their
No, you've
observation
got
posts?
the ones that are above on the roofs are different than the ones you saw, for instance, at the gate.
Okay.
The ones walking down the street, sometimes in pairs, appear to be some sort of security force, dressed in the Do armor with the battle skirt and the naginatas, and just they leer at everyone they pass by. For now, they are the tallest beings here. Everybody else is shorter than these guards, for sure. Oh, and there are also no human. None of them. No one looks like the three of you.
And no one, and they're not reacting any differently to us than they would be anybody else.
Nope. It's like you're in the middle of a busy downtown area at like 5 p.m. on a weekday.
All right, I'm going to ask the obvious, dumb, and stupid question. Do they even notice that we are here?
Oh, yeah, like, they don't run into you. Like, they notice you, they'll walk around if you're,
Okay.
like, if you're standing in the middle of the street, people will
They part around us and stuff
annoyingly
like that.
part.
Okay, that's what I wanted to make sure of. Okay,
Yeah, you're not invisible. They just don't care.
okay.
Just one of the faceless people in the crowds.
I guess do we go further on and further in, or do we talk to one of these roustabouts here to see who's in charge?
I have something, but see if I can find them.
Go for it.
And she'll, like, on, like, a side street, kind of take out the rice bag and kind of pour the contents on the ground to summon the Kodama.
Everyone stops and stares as this giant of a tree just bursts forth from the ground.
They don't react when the mountains move, but you grow one tree.
Oh yeah, no, it seems that the mountains, they don't really care about them. That, however, is something.
Something different, something new, something they didn't expect.
Yeah.
Either way.
The Kodama tree. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Can you all give me just a second?
Uh-oh.
Yep, just a second. I'm being invaded.
Okay.
Ominous.
Invasion of the Story Snatchers. All right. I'll stand back to make sure you've got plenty of room to do whatever you're going to do in case any of the people, especially the armored ones, try to come interfere.
Yeah.
Who you got there, Simon?
You got a wasp flying around or something?
Oh God, a wasp.
Oh, no.
It's invasion of the bumblebees.
Oh, no.
Ooh.
Oh, it's just a bee. Okay.
That's at least.
Oh, it's a bumblebee.
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
Bumblebee, yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
a
it's not a
yellow
problem.
jacket.
The
It's
thing
like
is,
just.
it came out of my wall.
Ooh.
Oh, it's a carpenter bee.
Just hope you don't have a swarming starting.
No, I have. So there are a lot of bumblebees around. Around the house. I know I have a nest nearby. I don't mind them. There is not supposed to be a way for them to go inside.
Into the house, yeah.
And I already caught one the other day, but I thought it came in through like the window. But this one sort of literally came out of where my breaker panel is. So I'm gonna need to look into that, because if there is an easy way for them to go in, because like a carpenter bee, for instance, it would have chewed its way in or something.
Mm-hmm.
This one, it's yeah, no, they don't do that.
Time to get out the spray foam.
I mean, if it were wasps, I would definitely kill them. I've done so before. I don't like them. But bumblebees are bumblebees and regular bees are just fine for me. So I'm not going to kill
friends.
them.
Yeah.
And it's also how I have like cool patches of clovers and such outside.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, the thing is a quick tangent, right? I also found like a mouse the other day here. A mouse, wow, big accent. A mouse. That sort of fell out of my wall. And it was spinning in a circle.
Oh, no.
So yeah. I mean, I found it, my cats found it, and it was spinning in a circle, and there was the dead body of an earwig next to it. I don't know exactly what happened. Anyway, it's been released and all that. It's just I would really like to know where the fuck they're coming in from. And
Maybe
if more of
using
them are
mice
coming.
With your
come out of your
walls.
walls.
Oh, but the mice is I know that they do get in every winter. Like you can hear them. I live by a giant field, so that's
Yeah.
Oh,
not a
they get in that way,
surprise. Yeah. Like I have a rabbit that just destroyed my strawberries. So
I thought
Oh,
you were gonna say you have a rabbit that just gets in through your walls sometimes.
it lives there now.
Quick tip: if you want to keep like squirrels and stuff out of your flowers and stuff, what my wife's been doing, she's been covering all of her flower plants with cayenne pepper.
yeah,
That's good,
that's yeah.
Either
But the
scare
thing
off
is-
the squirrels or get some very scary squirrels. So
They like
But
it.
like ours are like in boxes, so we can just like fence
Yeah.
the box out
Mm-hmm.
with like
Like it
like
too
you put
much.
like
Right.
a
Yeah.
net on top of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They keep
We
going
can do
after her
that.
marigolds, so
oh,
Eh. Um, no, and we have mint and garlic, and they don't go after those two, which I wish
Yeah.
they would. 'Cause, you know, I would. love to
lavender is a
have
good
other-
deterrent. Lavender and marigolds are good deterrents for ant to keep ants out of your house.
really?
Oh,
Yeah.
cool! Because there's a bunch of lavender that I want to plant. Anyway,
Anyway,
We're not
back
talking
to
about that.
Speaking
We're
of
talking about a
lavender, let's go
giant
to a big
tree.
piece of lavender.
yeah, a giant tree coming out of the ground. The Kadama spirit awakens and asks you the out loud, not as the spirits, like as your use of communing with a spirit. It just in here it speaks, and in fact, the other two, you can hear it. Why have you summoned me this time?
Holy shit!
I need to find someone if they're here.
The tree sort of twists as if it wanted to look around.
Sajobo.
There's a like it shakes the Kozama tree, basically not waves, but wavers, let's say. So like an invisible gust of wind. It's leaves like rustling in the now complete silence of the entire crowd has just stopped breathing even. I can lead you to him. Follow me.
Thank you.
And a chunk of leaves sort of fall and begin to spin and fly and float in one direction as the rest of the tree sinks back into the earth.
All right, let's go.
All of the other spirits here are flabbergasted. They part to just let the three of you walk. Some of them walk back, like if you look over your shoulders, they walk back to where the Kodama spirit grew and sort of like tap the ground, like poke it to see if anything's gonna come out again. The leaves will follow like some sort of a snaking path through streets, through side streets. At some point, you just downright cross the backyard of someone who's hanging clothes to dry. Each of these pieces, like they're like drapes or something, but they all bear like the extended visage of someone stretched thin to the whatever dimension those blankets are.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, you reach a it's like a fenced-in home, not like a gated community because it's more like a low wall, but to sort of keep some sort of privacy. Um, it's a nice-ish looking dojo.
Mm-hmm.
It's got two buildings, one of which seems to be like the dojo itself, where, you know, and you have like a training yard. There's like mannequins and other things that you can like barely see because of how they're placed, but like there's a training yard in the back, and then the other one appears to be the home of whoever lives here. And on his on the little door that leads into the courtyard is painted on just the name, just the title, actually, Sensei, in black paint. And that's where all the leaves basically like crash to the ground, create like a sort of a little haphazard carpet of dried leaves.
Well, I think this is the place. See if he's here.
Lead the way.
Important thing: shoes off. Shoes off before going in.
No.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah. So she'll do.
will do.
You open the little gate, like remove your shoes, open the gate, and right beyond that little gate, standing on the ground, just looking up at you, with malice and surprise, are the three crows that used to cause you no end of trouble way back when.
Oh, you're here
And one
too.
of them just
Yeah.
goes, "What the fuck?"
Good to see you too. Good to see you too, fuckers.
You're not supposed to be here.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be free of you.
Well, then just get Sajobo and we'll try and get out as soon as possible. That's something I think we both would like, all of us. Unless you want me to stay here forever and, you know, I can do what you did to me, you know, when up there or in the land of the living. So,
No, no. They start flying into it. They crash through like one of the walls, screaming, "Sensei, Sensei, Sensei! She's here!" And the door slides open. And there stands a stooping old man with a long white, like unkempt white beard, wild grayish white hair. He's got the like still the long crooked nose, and he's just wearing this faint pink and white hakama. He holds himself up with like a what appears to be the empty scabbard of a sword, just using it as a walking stick. In all my life, I have never thought any one of my students would befall a fate so cruel as yours. In all my life, I don't think a fate so blah 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 would befall on students such as mine. I got the sentence in reverse, but whatever. Rika, what are you doing? Who are your friends? And more importantly, how did you die?
You're muted.
Yeah,
Here
I
we
think
go.
it's her mic plus Video Ninja. I'll have to find a way to fix that.
Still nothing.
I think you are still muted. Yep. Wait, what if I do this? Can you talk? Then?
Yeah,
There you go.
You're back.
I know what keeps switching on the thing, but okay, yes. Yeah. Funny thing is, we're not dead. We fell through. Happened with the world tree, and we've been trying to get out. We've been through a series of places similar to this.
You fell out of the world. Come, there's no need to shout across the courtyard. Come in. Come in, all of you. And you see he looks at all of your feet very quickly and just goes, Walks in. The three crows have now, basically slunk out of the house and they've perched themselves above the entryway. They're just mesmerized by the three of you. They don't say anything. Like, one of them opens its beak as D you approach, but it doesn't say anything. The inside of Sajobo's home is almost a one-for-one replica of the house he used to have atop the mountain in Japan. Simple. Seems like there's only 2 rooms. No kitchen whatsoever, but he is coming out with a tray with tea in this sort of kettle that is fashioned after what appears to be a petrified human face. Distended, like the ear of the person is what basically makes the spout of the kettle. He puts it down.
So sweet kettle. All right.
Or each one of you. Tell me everything, student. Do not spare any details. It's awfully boring here in Oninomachi.
And just to kind of cut that out, I'll tell Stowe about like the world tree, all that, how we crashed through basically two underworlds. We've been through 2. This is the 3rd stop. And that we want to get back home because I think we know that there's some sort of calamity happened while we were gone. We were away.
He will explain that there were ages ago. Now, time doesn't work the same way here than it does on Earth.
Yeah.
1 year on Earth is a million year.
Oh, he's been here for a while. I mean, he was
here.
effectively.
He's been here almost like 500,000 year.
How long has it been since? Because we went through the first trip through the underworld, like between when. So how long has it actually been, like, campaign-wide between those 2 events?
Oh God, no,
It's
that's
like a year.
true.
It's like a year, right?
It's almost a year.
It's
Total.
almost a
Yes.
year.
So
Okay,
he's been here
For
a million
while.
years. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I forgot he died before you went to the island
Yeah,
the first
you
time.
went to
Yeah.
there was a time thing that happened.
And so
yeah.
he would say that many centuries ago. In fact, it's even worse than that. He says it's 1,000,000, but the exact count is 1 year on Earth is equal here to the amount of time it takes there's like a person whose punishment forever is to empty out a barrel of sesame seeds, one seed at a time.
Mm.
And every time he removes a seed, it takes like a full like Jigoku year to do that.
Mm.
He looks almost like paralyzed when you look at him. Like you have to come by every few weeks to notice that there's like a change in his movement.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, you know, he pours it out of one barrel, puts it into another, and the punishment starts over again. So it's been one barrel, or not even a full barrel. There were people that arrived here that mentioned horrible calamities on Earth. But most of them are more interested in their own fate and their own futures to be of any help. And furthermore, many of them, by the time they reach the city, those few who are allowed, they are summoned to Mao's castle, where they are judged. And he shows you the kettle, and then turned into whatever fitting punishment they deserve, until he looks at the kettle. They atone for whatever they did. By the way, the tea is absolutely not poisoned. It's perfectly fine
Not
to drink.
fine. And how you've been? Hopefully, it hasn't been as torturous as some of the other things that.
You would think. He puts his cup down. Beings such as there is no other world for us than here. So it's not so much a torture as it is a permanent retirement forever. That there are countless yokais and oni and yokais and oni and tengus, myself, Asha, just everywhere here. This is life for all of us. It's just been getting dreadfully lonely lately.
Is that just the state of here, or is that partially? Because we don't know necessarily what is unusual. Is that part of it unusual? Or are there supposed to be more here?
There were supposed to be people in the dojo. I can tell you that. I trained a whole new class of warriors. There's very little fighting going on here. We don't go to war with anyone. No one wants to travel the 16 hells just to get to MO. There are some who did us great harm. They killed all my students. And still, MO keeps finding people reckless enough, stupid enough to embark on whatever plan he has. Complicated thing, and most of us are not privy to his designs. But what I can say is that it's got something to do with the net that kept your father away from you for so long.
And what is the nature of this thing, this menace? No one.
It is not from here. But it's done horrible things. In fact, none of you should have been able to make your way here. You would have had to cross the blister hell, the plains of pain, and
Oh, that's what
cross.
that's. We did. We did, but it wasn't easy, especially for Finbar.
It was a difficult task, but managed to grit my way through it as best as possible.
That's because it's no longer the freezing hell. Oh no, believe me, if things were how they should be here, no one alive, no matter how divine, can make their way here unharmed.
So this rising of the mountains from the ground and all that is not, for lack of a better way to say, a natural turn of the seasons or anything like that.
It should be a flat plane of ice. In fact, I think those volcanoes belong to somewhere else. The world is shifting up and down.
Are
Big
they
mountains.
happening within a pattern? Like, is it every certain amount of time that it happens, or is it happening randomly, or?
It's happening with a frightening faster pace lately than it used to before.
So something is building up.
Something is here that shouldn't be here.
Mm-hmm.
Not just us.
I think it's got to do with whatever thing those gods had in mind. Whatever it is, whatever prison they did, breaking the natural order of things.
Probably has to be related somehow.
I am fairly certain. There's just some things I can't verify. You must have seen those sentries on the rooftops.
Yes.
They determine the height at which we're allowed to fly.
Hmm.
Can't leave the city by flying over the walls. Can't go look for myself. I can only sit here and train. A new class of students will invariably be sent out by MO and die for their lord.
So only those that can be approved or let out, then.
As far as I know, yes. I do not know how the Lord chooses them. They're just whisked away whenever he feels it convenient.
Other than disrupting the blistering hill, when these eruptions of the land occur, is it affecting the city here in any way?
Never. At least so far. The lava never reached the walls. But so did the frost. It never did reach the walls of Oninomachi. It remains in Shikoku forever. Oh, and that's just one of them. I said there are 16.
16.
You normally have to cross, well, it depends. It's different for everyone. But say for you, as far as I recall, you would have had to cross at least the first of either the cold hells or the hot hells to get to here. the Lord doesn't really want to have just about any being with divine essence just come plowing through the gates to whatever end. We absolutely do not want anyone to just come in and recruit a bunch of Oni for some misguided war on Earth.
Speaking of the word plow, I'm going to describe to him the trench that I found when I was doing my exploring to see if I'll basically ask him, is this a natural occurrence or is this something that someone has created or dug for themselves?
It's piece of another hell. They're not furrows, they're threads. They appear like furrows in the ground because the thread itself is invisible. Imagine a field in which you walk, where all of those threads have been laid down like a net on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Every so often, ogres will pull on those threads, lifting them up and cutting everyone in tiny little cubes. And then you are built back up and are meant to start all over.
Interesting.
Again,
And they connect all of the 16 locations here.
it's just one of the hells. It's not supposed to be on this one. Kind of
Oh,
like
okay.
mountains.
It's
Everything
misplaced
is,
then.
yeah, fusing. Or changing places. I wish, he looks at these. I wish I could enlighten you more. But as much as this is life for me, for eternity, as much as it is not supposed to be a prison, kinda is.
No, I mean, you've been a tremendous help letting us on. This is more, I think, than faster than we would have probably gone our own. Now that we know what's going on here.
There is something that I might be able to help with. And as he gets back up, you hear the sound of a horn being blown outside. And a loud voice calls out. Rika Higa. Kieran Kearney. Finbar Odupta. You are summoned to the Lord's palace immediately.
Well, I think they know we're here.
That little show with the tree probably tipped them off.
Yep.
Maybe. He turns to Kieran and Finbar and says, "Can you stall them for a moment? Come with me."
Mm-hmm.
And as he's going to leave through like the back door of his house, and basically his form as he leaves sort of changes back to more like its natural shape, where he looks way more avian with a beak and clawed feet. And he's going to basically exit through the back door and lead you around the courtyard, around the training field, into the dojo.
Mm-hmm.
For Kieran and Finbar's part, You can see through like the hole that the crows made coming in. Two of these giant guards are there. One of them has blown a horn and he's like putting it back like around his like belt or something. And they're waiting.
I look to Kieran. Ready to do your fast talking?
Sure.
All right.
We got no idea what they want with us.
Oh, I guess we can maybe stall them by asking them what they want of us and kind of take a track from there. Unless you've got a better idea. You're
No
full
real
of them.
ideas.
We'll slowly make our way to the door.
You make your way to the door. They're still waiting. By the way, they haven't entered the courtyard. They're politely waiting outside.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't be hard for them to sidestep the wall. I mean, they are
12 feet
fairly
tall.
huge creatures. Instead of the Najinadas, those two have like wicked tridents instead, and their armor is a little bit different. They don't have the shoulder guards that protected like the shoulder and the upper area of their arms, and they don't have the battle skirt either. They just have these like, goofy pants that appear to be made out of people. Like they are oddly skin colored.
Mm-hmm.
And these two, instead of being this sort of green color, they are like, bright red.
Interesting. Looks like some armorers or tailors are getting punishment for poor work or something like that.
Got no idea, man. Getting Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibes. Well, guess we could go out and see what they're wanting, suppose.
Alright, let's go.
Don't delay.
We're coming. Keep
We're
your
coming.
pants on.
We're not quite as big as you, so we don't move quite as fast.
Lord doesn't like to be kept waiting.
Alright, so we're gonna, like, head out to them as slowly as we can manage without them, like, getting really, really pissed off.
You walk through molasses,
Yeah.
and they're standing like stoic.
Mhm.
And one of them, like you're maybe like 2/3 back to the entrance of the courtyard, and one goes, "The Lord does not like to be kept waiting."
We're coming. Don't, just give us a second. We got,
For what does the Lord seek to... what does he want us for?
We look to each other. Talk, I guess. We follow orders, the other one says. Both of them is the same, like, monotone, booming voice. We were asked to get you, and so we do.
And he didn't say why. He didn't say what he wanted us there for.
You do not question the Lord.
Sure, but, like, the extent of the urgency with which he seems to have called for us would, suggest that there is something going on apart from just wanting to have a pleasant talk. I assume it's a pleasant talk. You seem pleasant.
Disabuse yourself. We are not.
Consider me disabused, then. Where exactly is the Lord's castle, palace, dojo? Where's it? What are you taking us to here?
Where is Miss Hika?
I believe I asked the question first, and it seems like you keep pretty well to tradition, seeing as you're staying outside the confines of the property, unless invited on. So, Social construct says that you should answer my question first.
Should we? Repeat the question.
Sure. Where is the Lord's palace or castle or dojo? And in that same vein, what is the place that we are being asked to go to exactly? What sort of building?
They point further out towards the middle of the city. It wasn't there before. It is there now.
A lot of that going.
On top of a hill, there's a fortified castle about like 15 stories high. This thing, you would have absolutely seen it. Like, there's no way anyone in the city cannot see it. It never was there until he pointed and you followed his like arm.
That wasn't there before. That's new, yeah?
It's always been there to those who deserve to see it.
Those who deserve to see it. Now, what's the metric for which we know whether or not we're deserving of, maybe are there other things in the city that you can only see if you're deserving to see them?
Do you see it?
I mean, clearly we see it.
Then you deserve.
But we didn't deserve it before because we couldn't see it before. Just curious why all of a sudden we have earned this honor.
Exactly.
As you have been summoned by the Lord.
Right, but we were summoned by the Lord before, as per you were saying that we were supposed to come along, but we didn't see the palace until you pointed out. So what changed between then and now?
I guess there's a delay.
And I looked at her, well, we must have done something right in order to earn this kind of honor. I'm just curious
Yeah.
what kind of honor it would be. All we did was just walk in and visit an old friend or something. Maybe that's what it is. We're visiting an old friend, we're being nice to somebody, and therefore we've earned the honor of getting to have an audience with this fine.
There you
You
go.
have damaged public property.
Wait, that's an honor here?
What top property did we damage? I don't remember us
Yeah,
damaging.
we didn't do anything.
Miss Higa grew a tree out of the street.
Okay, but neither of us is Miss Higa.
You
But
were
that's-
accessories.
Accessories to
that's-
grow in a tree?
That's urban improvement and renewal. That's improving nature. That's not destroying it. That's not destroying anything. That's creating new life.
Exactly. We're improving your
Lord
city.
MO said that you needed to meet with him. As far as I am concerned, you lack proper permits. You
Permits?
will follow us.
So we have to have permits now in order to see this person. Were you given any permits when we
Yeah, we don't have any
landed
permits.
on
Is
shore?
that-
I don't think we've
Is
got
there
any
something,
permits
there's like
yet.
a hell DMB that we have to go to, or?
The second one, the one without the horn, just snorts, sighs, growls all in one breath, and puts his giant hand down on the little door that leads inside the courtyard and just opens it. And we're just gonna cut for a second to D.
We're gonna get our shit kicked in, Finbar.
It's like, why are you all dead? You're all dead out in the front.
So Jobo brings you to his dojo. It looks like it's been abandoned for years. Just cobwebs and dust all over. Armors on racks and weapons have rusted and broken. Some of the like, say, like gauntlets or greaves have like parts of them just dangling about. Nothing is kept proper. But it doesn't seem to phase Sojobo at all. He doesn't even mention it. He just goes, walks to a it's like a little altar that's next to a seat. And on this altar is a red wooden box surrounded by this string of like various coins. It's not like that thick. Brings it over, puts it down in front of you, and says, "Your mother would want you to have it. I could not give it to you on Earth. It followed me here, I guess, but it is not mine." He pushes it towards you. "Not mine to open." He left this, and from his sleeve, he produces a small scroll and hands it over.
Look at it.
"To my beloved daughter. This is your heart's content." There's not even a signature. Nothing else in it.
And I'll open the box.
All right, I'm going to have a weird question for you. We're going to end on that.
Okay.
The reason we're going to end on it is so that you also have a week to think about it. What does D see in the box?
Oh.
Because whatever is in it is what D wants to see. It doesn't need to fit in the dimension of the box that I told you. The box can be as deep as it needs to be or as big as it needs to be on the inside to fit whatever it is that D in that moment wants to have. But it really is it's not like a wish, oh, I want to have blah, and that's what's inside.
I want a gun.
It would be a gun. But if it's I want a gun just because I need one right now versus I've always wanted.
Yeah.
It's the I've always wanted part. That's
I've always wanted. No. Yeah, that'll be a good thing to think to muse on for a week. That should be interesting.
Yeah. And that's where we're gonna stop today. Feels good to be back in hell.
I also got a belt that turns into a snake here.
Wow!
I've always wanted to have one of the shitty presents that Kieran had.
You got a belt that turns into a snake. Look what my dad gave me.
Oh, come on!
It's poisonous.
It's a bigger belt that grows into a bigger snake. That's where Kieran realizes he's got the Alibaba version of
Literally everything. Yeah, the gun feels like something my dad would give me. It's these are all the ethereal weapons, and it's here, son, here's a Glock.
In certain circumstances, the Glock is more useful than,
The Glock is mightier than the sword.
Technically, yes.
From longer distance, yeah.
So that said, let's go round. Let's tell everyone who you are, where we can find you. I just need to go check on Pat's fighting for a second.
Oh, no.
I'm still hearing everything, but we'll do the same order as we did the intros, and I'll keep myself for last. So we'll start with Kieran.
All right, that's me. I'm Kieran. I was Kieran. I am Hannah. You can find me. Hanimation.shop is my online store where you can find all my cool, fun, exciting, cute things that you can put on your keychain or your bag or whatever. And I'm Hanimation Art on Twitter, Hanimation Studios on Instagram, and just plain Hanimation on... I don't know what the newest thing is now. There's so many things. Anyway, Hanimation Studios pretty much everywhere except for Twitter. And you can find me back here next Saturday, maybe for Scion. So, exciting, fun, good stuff.
Thank you. D.
Hey everyone, I'm Lynn. Gremlin art pretty much everywhere on the socials. All those places you can find my art there, and what I'm doing throughout the week as far as games. And you can also find me on Thursdays for from the library on Classical Glasses channel for it's a Monster Hearts